And Godot, it's Friday. Seriously. Thank you. It's been a long week. But we're almost there. Alright, what do I want for music today? Maybe this? Let's see about this. Yeah, I want to be serenaded today. Got my tea. I've got kind of a different setup today. It's still a chair stream. You still see the chair, because I'm tired and lazy. I got my tablet, my like extra large Wacom tablet. Not one with the screen. It's just like a regular drawing tablet. So I still have to like look at the screen, which is fine. But yeah, all the tile map stuff we've been doing has been really, I can feel the RSI coming in the air tonight from all this stuff. So we're trying something else. Let's see. We'll see if we like it. My problem is now my keyboard is like way over here. But we'll make it work. So what we're working on is still our Atlas tile format. We have the simple ones, the 47 tile ones. We used a pre-existing format for this. And now what I'm essentially doing is I'm extending that format out to the big walls, the full walls. So the small walls have been indexed. So this is the sparse tile map. And here are their indexes to the... Oh, I needed to open this into a new window. Let's do that. There we go. So here's our packed atlas here. And here's our sparse map. And so we've indexed the walls, the half walls and the floors, so we just got to do the tall walls, the full walls. But I've decided we're just going to use the same mapping as this. It's just a little more complicated because for every one of these tiles, there's 4 of these, so you just grab them in chunks. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. So I already did the first row, which is pretty long, but it corresponds to essentially the first row here, 0 through 11. So I've already done, I did that last night when I was deciding how we wanted to structure this. So I've done one. We'll just do a couple more, and that's how we're going to start the stream. Just kind of chilling. Copy pasting some art. Maybe making guides. I have these guides, which are kind of hard to see. Let me get the numbers out of here. They're just guides to tell you like what kind of outlines correspond in a generic sense, so it's easier to map these when you're making, because right now we're doing the cube, but we'll have other shapes too, like pyramidal shapes and stuff, and this abstract guide will be a way to understand what should go where. So I may or may not keep working on that. We'll probably just try to do the actual thing and worry about templates and guides later. That's kind of been our emphasis this week, is like, forget about fancy stuff right now. Let's just try to get the final. Let's try to get a tile map done. And we'll go back. So mapping is pretty arbitrary, so I have arbited. All right, let's see if this is at all comfortable with the tablet. The thing I'm concerned with is the scrolling, but it seems fine. How do I zoom? Like this? Okay, that's not that bad. I'm not much of an artist, so I'm like very unused to using this input. But I think it's going to be a chill day. If everyone else is having a chill day, we're almost to the weekend. It's getting warm here, San Francisco, which is nice. You know, you want a summer eventually. All right, so we're up to 12, I think. Yeah. Because we're going across here. So we've got 0 through 11. So now we're on a new row. So we want the corresponding spot to index 12 here, which is this. So we just find its match over here, which are these 4. Copy that. Go over here. Paste that here. And we just go. We just keep going. So 13 is down and to the right. So it's probably these 4 right here. Yep. Okay, now we need 14, which is here, the bottom of this group. So you see it's here. So just before the 4th full line. All right, 15. Now we're going back, up 1, over 1. These 4. We kind of start to get a hang of this, I guess, after that. I had a hard time with this last night. Atagon redeemed the hydrate. Thank you, Atagon. I do have a nice cup of tea here. My voice is a little worn out. How's it going? I'm thinking of my theme submissions. Give me a minute. Give me a break. All right. I kind of want to go back and add the textures here a little bit, so it's a little easier to see what I'm working with here. Hey, Nix. Hey, Ryan and Journey. How's everyone doing? Alright, this workflow is better for my wrist, but it is a little slower. It's a little weird. I need to set up the hotkeys on my Wacom tablet better. I've got control on there, but I need like controls. I need the whole copy command mapped to like a button or something. You're rotting. I'm sorry. Sorry, Nix. Yeah, it's getting warm here today. It was making me think of what you were saying before. I'm starting to feel heat coming off the street. We're almost done with this tile map atlas reformat, I swear. Actually, let's do the whole thing. One, two, three, four. So we just delete this one. You spent all of today working on your AI. How's that going? Because I have a friend who's doing that, and it's not going well. But they're doing AI coding. We don't really do any of that here. I mean, me personally. Got almost all the backdrop here for an indicator of where all the tiles are going, which is good. Zoom out a little. So we just need to fill in the outlines for these. That's not that hard. What happened here? Can I paint over this? There it is. What's going on here? Oh. That's weird. Hold on a sec. Oh. No, you're all right. I don't judge any individual person for their workflow here, really. So the thing you're kind of trying to do seems to be the kind of thing that one would need this for. All right. Let's grab the Wacom thing. I want to change my hotkeys a little bit here. Wacom Center. Express key settings. So this is control. Can I make this like some Can I make it a whole thing? Could be like control. Yeah. Make this one Control V. It's fine for now. All right, so we left off at 15. Let's go. All right, 16. Index 16 is... Oh, so that zooms. Using the pan scroll is a little hard. There it is. Second set of 4 on the second line. We need the outline. Oh, there's 3 in a row right here. I should have looked ahead. All right, where's 19? A19. Four down, 3 over. All right. You seem to have put quite a lot of work into that, Nix. It's really cool. I don't understand any of that stuff. Fourth, so 2 down from the 4th full line and far right. 2 down from the 4th full line, far right. Okay. These 4. Really hope we're doing this right, you know? All right, 21. 21 is second to last one here on the right. Okay. Not totally sure what that means. Okay. That makes it the seventh from the bottom, okay. Huh. Are there two things here? So just one. Just one, okay. Whoop, what did I do? Rhiannon, you're glad you're not the one creating this tile set. The game would be canceled by now. Oh, you just do this once. You do it once. You know, we are doing it in such a way where we're trying to template it so we can just, at least for all the cubes, we'll be able to reuse this one exactly. And then for other objects, we're trying to set in some guides so that you would know how to adapt this to like a pyramidal shape or any other shape. It's based on this other mapping up here. We're basically taking this mapping and we're reusing it for the larger case, which is doable, but like a little confusing at first glance. It's soothing to watch, but you couldn't do it. Yeah, believe me. I thought of ways to avoid having to do this, but the thing is, even if I avoided doing this, I would still have to have made like a tool to do it for me. And I realized that that was maybe the greater evil in this case. Fifth from the fourth line. All right, here's the part where maybe I get a little confused. There aren't enough tiles to do this. So now we're getting into like we're getting into the territory where we're removing things due to a lack of like we're trying not to include duplicates. But I think the way this mapping is written, there will be some spots for duplicates. So I just got to decide what that is about. Let's go back to the last one we did and double check it. That was 22. It's down here. That was the top. That was the dots on top. So lines on top, dots on top. Let's look at 24. Where is 24? Ah, I see it. Okay, so that's back to being 4 again. How do I want to do this one? Rhiannon, yeah, if it's a one-time thing, doing it manually makes sense. And if it were your hyper-focus, you probably would be able to do it. You're glad I'm powering through because you want to see this game in a few years. Yeah, a few years is optimistic. No, we'll get something. I am seriously thinking about that, like Rokupa's Idle Island kind of deal. I'm thinking about making something like that as like a vibe check. where we utilize the ship editor tool and like the ship simulation to make just like a chill little experience on a ship as like a teaser or a way to bring people in based on the vibes. That'd probably only take what, a 6-month diversion once we're done with the simulation. I don't say done with the simulation, I guess. Once the simulation is good enough that we can use it. All right. So, conundrum 23 is just 5th down from the 4th line. It's just 2 tiles. It's the weird thing here. So it's just, there's a question of like how I want to organize this. Probably just do something like this because it is arbitrary. And then maybe delete these. Hey, Vigivini. Rihanna Journey, you think that's a really good idea? Nix, you're curious to see this tile map be all 100% functioning? See how crazy it is at the end? The funny thing is we're doing a lot of effort for what's eventually going to be like a very subtle effect. Our autotiler, the way it currently exists, gets us like 90% of the way there. But of course the last 10% is going to take a complete refactor. So I'm a little concerned that I missed something on the second row here. Because it doesn't go all the way to the end, which is believable, but it's a little concerning. But when I look at this, it looks right. I don't see anything wrong with this yet. It's crazy that I'm starting to be able to read this. I do have a little guide that I wrote, a little guide language that's like not specific to the implementation, so you could use it with different shapes, but I think this is even harder to read if you do not know what you're looking for. You need to turn off like the outlines and stuff. But that's sort of thing is to make this so that this template is universal and we can use it for everything. Rihanna Journey, you just saw that the studio that developed Hardspace Shipbreakers got their IP back from the publisher and already have new projects in the works? Hell yes. Yeah, I like that developer. I don't know anything about him, but I like him. I like him. I like the cut of their jib. All right, 24. How's it going, Vidya? Happy Friday. 4th full line. We're trying to wrap up this tile map today. I think we can do it. Okay, yeah, here's another group of just 2. It's getting a little awkward. Might end up with a slightly different mapping. Depending on how pervasive this is. It's my desire to not duplicate. I'm trying not to duplicate unnecessarily. But now the question is, do we want to leave gaps? Or not? Probably not. Makes it a little harder to read, though. Starts to kind of mess up our system here. Like, maybe I'm tempted to just do this for now and then figure it out later. Like, to retain the spacing and then take a look later if we can compress it further or if it just doesn't make sense and we just leave it like this. Like that. Like, retain a little bit of the spacing from the sparse map just so I'm not getting tricked up here. Question is deciding where they're supposed to sit. I think it's supposed to be like this. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would get deleted. You would get deleted. Nix, you waited around 2 weeks for this pizzeria to open up again from summer because they make custom pizzas. They do not have so many ingredients. It's sad. Well, they're custom pizzas. I mean, managing waste for ingredients is hard. Don't tell me you want to order one of your like a sour cream pizza or something. You monster. Yeah, I think I'm going to retain the spacing for now. I know this is supposed to be the dense map, but I'm going to retain the spacing that's in here. Just for now. Until it's more clear to me how sparse this gets. All right, so what was this? 25? So 26. Here we go. Oh, 26 is the very last one. That's fun. Is that just going to be a single piece? This is going to get interesting really quickly. Yep, yes it is. Just a single piece. So we can just get rid of all of these. Leave that. That's silly. Nix, you used to make this great custom pizza back in Hungary. Garlic oil, sour cream base, brown beans, eggs, onion, fish. Like half of those aren't even an option on their website. That is a very creative pizza. There's nothing wrong with sour cream pizza. I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm seeing a problem just because we have up to 4 tiles for each one of these tiles. But that's just up to 4. There's nothing saying it has to be 4. All right, so you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom, left side. What do you mean left side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so literally just these two. So how did I manage up here? When I was putting in 10 and 11. getting this I did it wrong kind of vibe here. Oh wait, here. I see this here. Why are you all the way down here? Why are you on the second line? Don't knock it till you try it. I like sour cream. I'm not like some hater. Although I have never had beans on a pizza. That sounds kind of okay. All right, where's the 11? So the 11 is third down from that last big line. Yeah, this is just 2. There's... I'm concerned. I have some concerns. I have some concerns with the integrity of what I've done here. So we're going to check it real quick. All right. I think 0 is fine. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to start grouping these into 4s. So we're going to do this. We're gonna go 4x4 or 4x1. If we retain the spacing, this should be easy. I actually don't need to do this. I don't need to mark this like this. Wasting time. Let's just quick check. So here's 0. Looks right. Here's 1. 0, 1, 3, 2. That's this group. Should be this group. Actually, let's do that. Let's change our grid to be 64 wide so we can see each group of 4. That's what I've been missing. All right, then group 3. I want to do the same thing here. Because we're kind of, that's our little bite-sized thing we're working with right now. Let's do this. Here's something that will actually help us. Let's take this number. Let's take maybe the bigger versions of the numbers, which I have somewhere. Oh, that's too big. Okay. Where are these? 64 by 32, that's the grid that we want, but right now we're going to do this. So I can have an easier time here. That's not how I draw twos, is it? I guess I can look over here. No, not quite. I was like, that looks terrible. There we go. It's a little less terrible. These should be in the other layer. The lament of the layers. Yeah, I was talking to some other game devs about my idea to imitate Rokupa's Idle Island. And their universal response was, "Oh, we don't play cozy games or idle games like that, but our girlfriends love them." So I'm like, okay, there's an audience. It's maybe not the same audience as the main game. And that presents a kind of conundrum, but I think that's okay. As long as we specify it's definitely a different thing. It's just kind of an intro to the world in a number of ways. All right, that's all the numbers we need there. Let's just get the shadows. Got some lunch math going on here, Nix. Yeah, don't let big fast food boss you around. You tell them you have it your way. That's what they're always saying, right? Have it your way. All right, I need to add a I need to mess around with my hotkeys a little more. Wacom Center. I like this. I like using this. This does feel like it's helping. All right, we have Control C, Control V. I kind of want Control Z. And Control Y. And then I also want like maybe select keystroke. Select is M. You know, I could just change my I could just change the hotkeys, but you know, I think it's fine. Got B. Not B. B. We got. I don't need eyedropper tool, but I do need paint bucket. And then maybe line tool. Seems fine. Appreciate everyone sticking out with the pretty boring thing we're doing today. Oh, what just happened? Right, okay, I got what I want. I like this track a lot. Alright, put the grid back. Maybe we change this for a second so I can center these. Oh, I don't want these on the count layer. Song track made you want to play Lightyear Frontier, farming game with mechs. Oh, that sounds nice. I haven't heard of that one. What was that called? Lightyear Frontier. Oh, this looks fun. Oh, this looks snazzy. Oh my god. Okay. There was like a shield. Are there like bad guys? Kind of looked like it for a second there. Okay. Oh, multiplayer maybe. Oh, this looks nice. Oh yeah, definitely multiplayer. It's pretty fun. Not a lot in the game so far though. That's like what hurts me when I see something like this that's like early access. It's been out since like March of last year. And I'm like, how much is in the game though? Looks gorgeous. But yeah, that's always my concern. Is like, is there stuff to do? Because I kind of bounced off Satisfactory because there's like nothing pushing back against you. It's kind of just this open-ended thing where it's like, yeah, you could do stuff if you feel like it. I prefer like Factorio. Something where there's like some pressure. But again, that's why the people I was talking to were not interested in cozy games. They were like, I don't play games to have fun. I think one person literally said that. They said that, I think they might have said, I don't play games to relax. It was like, fair, I guess. Oh, it wasn't 1, 2, 3, was it? It was 1, 3, 2. 0, 1, 3, 2. Oh, 1, 3, 2. Oh, hold on a second. This isn't right. Oh, okay. I understand why this is the way that it is now a little bit. It looked amazing. Yeah. There are some bad guys, but the shield is there to show where your farm is. Outside of the zone, you can't access your farm's inventory. Oh, okay. That's reasonable. They have that in Medieval Dynasty, which I'm playing with my partner. Did my Wacom tablet just turn itself off? No. Okay. So here's a weird thing. It's 0132, but the thing is... This is 4E. Oh, no, this is it. That's it. It's right. Never mind. I forgot we switched to the Y face here. I'm not looking at the Y face right now. We're on the right track. 36, 16, 17, 18.
Maximum warp.
Maximum warp. Who is that? No Jewel. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Happy Friday. Cozy game you're always playing is RimWorld. Defining RimWorld as a cozy game is like one of the wildest things I've ever heard. Because it's kind of true, but it's also deeply untrue. There's definitely ways to play that game that I guess are chill or cozy. But it's like you can only fight off so many like cannibal ravager mech invasions and be like, I'm playing a cozy game. You can't believe it's Friday already. Your whole vacation spent on this dumb bot. Ah, well. No, it's cozy for you, and that's literally all that matters. I'm not trying to pick on you. Fullbox recently mentioned I was frustrated over isometric pixel art stuff. Are you stuck in ads, No Jewel, or are you here with us now? Is No Jewel in the room with us now? Okay, I just gotta check because we just started ads. Trying to think of what Fullbox would have been mentioning that in the context of. Oh, we were working a lot on building out our tile map format stuff. That's kind of what I'm working on now, but we were just musing about having a process where you can go from like a fairly high level set of images that like defines the object, and then figure out a process that can map that to the atlas that we actually need. And we've just been working, we've been exploring ideas about that. Right now I'm just doing the work because I think ultimately that's just what needs to happen, is we just need to have the tile map atlas. But we were thinking about things like grab some files. Actually, let's do it like this. We were thinking about doing something like this, where you define like, here's a block, here's like the outline of the block, here's like the underlying texture, and then like define something like this thing here on the right, where it's like you've encoded the different outline combinations and stuff as like flags, as like bit flags. And so the system could read through here and like sample this and then generate this sort of thing, like the actual packed texture. So we were just thinking about that, and Fullbox mentioned your last jam game had a cool tile map overlay thing, which it was cool. I wasn't quite sure how you handled this kind of a subject, but since it was a jam game, I figure you just jammed it out, right? But I don't know, you also did post-jam stuff on it. Oh, is this wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is right. $39 and $42. Okay, now here's where things get interesting, because we're covering partial sets now. Oh, this whole set is just 38. Okay, that's actually easy. That's actually kind of weird. you see you're short about it? You're currently working on an Sprite tool for something like that. Yeah, we did. We specifically watched your short in relation to this conversation. Because it seemed like similar kind of work. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in how you're developing your tool for that. It's pretty cool. So right now we're handling the simple cube case, but I'm thinking about like the future where you've got like unusual shapes. So we're coming up with we've got a format here, format design that will like cover all the necessary cases for the autotiler. All right. 12457. I'm just going to do this so I can actually see what's covered by these. It's just a pain, because what I would really like is a tool, like I was saying, where we can go from one to the other. But, you know, the smart thing to do, I think, is to just come up with the end product first and then work back from that. So we're trying to implement just a finished version of this new format. And then once we see it in action and we've addressed any issues, then we can start thinking about tooling. I was just getting maybe a little preoccupied. Which who doesn't, you know? I'm gonna move this over here. Is that a little more clear now that we've got stuff like that going? Yeah, it's going to be easier to map it like this. It'll be easier because we'll have already divvied them up. Because when I'm going through, I'm getting confused about which sections are just 2 and which sections are actually 4. All right, 12, 4, 5, 6. I might actually pre-block these out and then add the numbers. Nix, you hate it when you drag and drop a file over your network drive. The whole Windows file system craps itself for a full 15 seconds. That is wild. I don't think I've experienced that. But I also don't do what you're describing to do. So. All right, so are these 2 or 4 of these? Probably just 2. 2, 2, 1. Okay. Or 2, 2, 1 again. Okay. Next, you don't even dropping it, you're just dragging it over the network drive. The PC is like a minefield. You should just throw Windows out. It would fix so many problems. It would fix many problems. It might introduce others, but you know. Pick your poison. Okay, and now so we did 2, 2, 1. Now we're back at 2211. Okay. Okay, so far this has been easy. Famous last words, right? Two, 211. Oh. This is 2. Yeah, here we go. Now we're into the parts that are just smaller like this. I gotta decide how I want to map these when it's just one of them like this. 2211. It's a risk you're willing to take? Good Godspeed. Doobdob. So what's the game called? What's it about? You just got here. Hey, welcome in, Doobdob. Happy Friday. The game is Digital Iliad. It's a isometric 2D FTL-like kind of game. It's like FTL, faster than light, kind of like a spaceship management game. It's a different perspective. It's a little bigger, a little slowed down, so maybe it's a little like RimWorld or something too. We're working on tools. Right now we're working on a new tilemap format, tilemap atlas format. So we're not doing anything particularly exciting or sexy. But here's a little glimpse of the tool we're working on. So it's this tool that's designed to let us build these 3D spaces in isometric 2D. And it's pretty rough right now because we can't represent that much. It's like just big gray boxes. But we've got a lot of stuff going on in here. We got like flood fill, cutaways. A lot of auto tiling. That's kind of what we're working on right now. It's shoring up a few auto tiling issues that the old format had. And coming up with a universal format going forward. Will just work for everything. So we'll soon, once we got some more variety, we'll be able to build out ships. Make compartments and ships and silhouettes and start messing around with that stuff. But we've been pretty locked into tools development for a while. How are you doing? No, Jewel, now you want to find the stream when we watched your short. I don't know if I put it up on the screen. Oh no, I probably did. Yeah, I don't remember when it was either. It was in the last week or so. Sorry. Memory. But yeah, your short's great. I'm excited to see more about that tool. So right now we're doing some tilemap atlas stuff. Okay, so I did this. I did the 2211. So then now it's 2121. So 2121. That doesn't seem right. This is 2, so it's like this. It's hard to believe, but it's possible. Two, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And then there should be 4 1s. Yeah, it is. Okay. Explains why I got kind of tripped up here, I think. All right, let's just index these now. All right. 12, 4, 5, 7. Oh, grabbed too much. Happy Friday. Hey, Matthew Sparks. Your manager just told you to drop everything you're doing because the higher-ups want your auto-generated HTML, CSS email templates for tickets completely redesigned visually. What a great use of your time. Yeah. Higher-ups can be like that. They get a little myopic sometimes. They're like, we've decided that this is the most important thing. And you're like, what is it? And you're like, it's a minor aesthetic change. It's like, great. Yeah, let's drop everything. 4, 5, 7. Nix, it's 27.5 C in your room for the 4th day in a row. Oof. It's a warm 74 degrees in here, which for here is white warm inside. It's going to be nice this weekend, though, which is great because I've got some events to go to. Got my monthly Godot meetup. How did this get messed up? Wait, what? Was I got a playtesting event at a barcade after? So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to some nice weather. But yeah, I'm sorry, you're cooking. 4, 5, 7 is what I said, right? Yeah. Matthew, you're very tempted to shove their email into an LLM and see what UI it shits at the other end. Make no changes, send it back, and then they'll be like, this looks great. 1331. Thanks, Nix. No, Joel, can you explain what you're mapping out here? Sure. So, the autotiler has a way of building out its tiles. And it does it sequentially. So, if I zoom out a little here, maybe hide this for a second. So this is how, I call this the sparse map. this is how these are mapped on here. So it'll say, so we'll start over here. Here, I could use a smaller example. So if we look here, these are simpler. We did this one before. So we'll start with like Atlas chord 0, 0, and then it will say like, okay, this border is missing. You can get rid of this outline. So we'll increment Atlas chord X by 1. But we might also say, you know, we can get rid of this bottom outline, so Atlas chord Y increment by 1. And then that combination gives us the final piece for any given tile. But this isn't like how the tiles sit in the tile atlas. This is like a sparse mapping of it. So we need to, if you look over here on the left screen, we have a dense mapping of those. And so we're just taking the indexes in the dense mapping and applying them back over here to the sparse map, so I know how to copy them over for the much more complicated case, which is this other set. Because this other set is much bigger. And so that's what we're doing. We're just building out down here, we're building out the dense map for all of the different tile combinations. And we're trying to make a template that we can use. Matthew, it's a case of someone saw something shiny from another university and decided we must also have that now. Yeah. Gotta stay relevant. How do I keep messing this part? Oh. Never mind. I see exactly what I'm doing. Oops. I see. Yeah, so it is really similar to what you did. Okay. That makes me feel like I'm not totally off base then. We just might have maybe more states than you do. Because for the full walls, we have corner cases and half cuts. Like, so the outline might just go halfway up. So there's just a lot of cases here. Oh, Rhiannon Journey. I got to watch the Rise Derby episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds last night. That was quite good. That was quite funny. I really enjoyed the cameo at the end, which I won't spoil. 1529. No, Julie, you left space for overlaps in yours for the templates, which is why it is not sparse. In the example in the short, had quite some issues and missing combinations. They're not sparse. Yeah, so it's not dense. Yeah, we're running into a kind of in between where we're trying to make a dense map, but we're realizing because we haven't drawn, we're only drawing unique shapes. We also have some gaps. in what would otherwise be a dense map. So it might not be absolutely dense. It might just be more dense than the sparse map. I can't really avoid the sparse map here because of the way we build it out. I mean, this is just how the auto tiler thinks. But yeah, we need this mapping from that onto something that's a little more efficient in terms of space. This is still going to end up being kind of big, but that's okay. It's still relatively small. 14. Twenty-four, 6, 19, and 46. Anything else you're working on right now? No, Jewel? Thinking of doing any jam soon? We're going to be doing a Down to Jam, which should be fun. I need to put this on a different layer eventually here. That's okay. $19 and $46. Oh, I have an undo on here now. Forgetting I added that. You finally finished and uploaded a new video releasing tomorrow? Awesome. And Gamescom next week? Oh, that sounds exciting. I'll keep an eye out for that video. $30 and $8. 41 and 20. Yeah, Gamescom would be really cool to go to someday. A little far for me, though. I haven't felt any RSI today, just using my tablet for this. It's been really great. A little slow, but, you know, worth it. $28.9. When you create art for a hull breach, for example, the art might extend over the cell borders. How do you handle these cases? The art might extend over the cell borders. It wouldn't. It would extend into another cell. So you would just have to define that edge for the other side. So if you have like a left edge of a hull breach, you also need to have a right edge of a hull breach. So for a given texture, for a given block, you can define whether the block is like the same for all edge cases, like there's no difference, or you can define if there's like an upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right, or if there's a center, or, you know. So you would limit it or create more combinations. It'd be the more combinations. I'm trying to make it in such a way where if you don't care, you don't have to define that. And then if you do care, you can just add those additional cases. All right, I thought I was on 28. Oh, okay, I am 28 and 9. Yeah, we do have some separate issues with some stuff that exceeds the size of a single tile, but that's usually to do with like doors right now. The doors kind of might extend slightly beyond themselves, and that's okay because they're nodes. They're not in the tile atlas really. So they won't have that problem. I mean, they might be in the tile atlas, but they're scene collections, right? But that's more of an issue with, like, making sure your little character doesn't, like, clip weirdly as they walk past it or something. $25.23. Oh, Nix, yesterday you spent 3.5 hours in an icy cold bath. It was glorious. That sounds nice. Almost done. Starts to get a lot easier. Start to be a lot less of these. $43.21. 4321. It's been one of those weeks where I've really, I think I've been overdoing it a bit. I've been doing like 8 hours a day job and then like 8 hours of game dev and like going to sleep at like midnight, like waking up at like 6, doing it all over again. 3, 4. Gotta take it easier, but we're making good progress, so we got that going. But yeah, I'm ready for the weekend. 2710. Yeah, this is where I started to get confused. These really small ones here. These blocks. You ready for next week? The heat should subside. That'd be nice. Hoping for that for you. Hey, Arneo. Your flat's way too hot still. Hoping for rains. Yeah, that would be excellent. We're starting to feel the heat out here, but our summer is only just starting. 32:22. All right, almost done. Almost done. This will make me, being able to look at this will help me a lot. It'll make me a lot more confident when we're mapping this here. $32.22, and then I think it was like 45, then 44. Let's make sure we're doing the right one of these. They're not all exactly the same. Here we go. The Y mapping is different than the X mapping, but that's fine. That'll be relatively easy to do. 45, 44, and then 26. Matthew, you're stuck in the heat for at least another month, 95 plus degrees every day for at least the next 2 weeks. That sounds horrible. Sounds like why I left the valley for the safety of a coastal city. Silas, do you have any other interesting game development concepts that you can share, Dave? Like what you did with diegetic sound? Oh. I haven't done a lot of diegetic sound. I mean, I've done sound effects for some stuff. For like a following wind. Game development concepts. I mean, there's certainly stuff I'm aware of that I haven't used myself, which I think is more what you're talking about. Stuff that I've mentioned on the stream. You're looking for more features to implement? You want to break from terminals? I would love to do some feature stuff soon. We're really in the weeds on technicalities and stuff right now. All right, fully mapped. Excuse me. Okay, so here's the part that I'm confused about. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where's 6? Six. I'm looking for the first one that's less than 4. 7, 8, 9. Where's 10? There it is. Okay, so 10 is just 2. So why is this solid down here at this end? This isn't right. I think we're going to just redo this part now that we know for sure what we're looking at, which is sad. I want to be absolutely sure, but that's fine. It should be easy to copy this back over. You're generally interested in learning, Silas. You did dive into diegetic sound for a while. Watch some videos, read about it for half a day. Yeah. That's an interesting question in a space game, right? You think about like really iconic scenes in space films, like Dave Bowman in his like spacesuit, like doing EVAs out in space, where there will be no sound at all except like all you could hear is Dave Bowman breathing for like significant, like the whole final conflict with Hal. Like one of the only things you hear besides Hal's voice is just Dave Bowman breathing, because there's just no sound, like because you're in space. So I think space actually has the problem where you actually can't hear anything a lot of the time. So I think that would be an interesting thing to work on in the context of like your game and my game. kind of what comes to mind for me here. All right, let's go down to the outline layer. Okay, good. Because the thing I was doing was I was like looking at the indexing of this set, and then I was like trying to figure out how that mapped over. But I'm glad we just did all of that at once, so we don't have to think about it again for a minute. We're also going to need to rename this from like index to like grouping or something like that, because these are not the final indexes. I actually don't have room to draw the final indexes. Do I? Do I have room for 3 numbers here? Because this is going to get up to the triple digits. Let me just see if I even have room for this. Oh, I might have room. Okay, there's room. There's even room for a little bit of spaces between the numbers. Look at that. Okay, that's good because that is going to be a concern. Can I do something like have both? Probably not. Just put that on a different layer. Arnio, you don't even know how to get to sound design. Your space game is very stuck in this building the environment limbo. You're not sure how to get out. We are also in the building the environment limbo, with the promise that once the environment's built, we're in good shape, which we have yet to prove out. Getting the zoom level right is hard. There we go. That's probably reasonable. Over here. Silas, there's the hum of the space station, opening, closing of the doors, air pressure equalization, sound of a terminal computer. Like the terminal receiving messages in the first Alien movie. Yeah, there are those sounds, but think about this. If there's a vacuum, how would you hear the sound of the door closing? Like, so there's definitely cases where in space there should be no sound. And I think that could be used very interestingly and atmospherically, but I think it's hard to do right. But I think that's the main diegetic sound opportunity in space, is actually the absence of sound. And doing that in a way that creates atmosphere. Ironically creating atmosphere where there is none. I think that's an interesting challenge. All right, let's get onto the right layer here. All right, this should be pretty easy to slot in here. So 0, 1. Two. Edge scrolling is a little sensitive. Let's change the grid size. Let's actually maybe hide the grid first. Oh no, we need the grid. Set the grid to be twice this. You agree with that? There's one atmosphere inside the station in your case. However, that can change. You're basically just prototyping the ideas that you have. You're not sure it will ever become an actual game, but it's super interesting working on the concepts. I think that's a reasonable choice. There's actually some people that will say what you should do is you shouldn't make games, you should make systems. Like you should understand and have prototypes out. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if you understand how all the different systems work, then when you actually go to make a game, you know how to do it. I don't totally subscribe to that because I find that if I don't have a project in mind, I have no reason to learn the system. Like, I'm not the kind of person that would do that work if I didn't have, like, some kind of motivator. But it just being interesting is a plenty good motivator on its own. Arneo, Elite Dangerous has some of your favorite sound design for a space game. You recommend checking out Capital Ship Warp from YouTube for some sweet space sounds. I've played a little Elite Dangerous. I had a friend who really enjoyed playing that in the PlayStation VR. It was pretty cool. All right, so here's where we start to manipulate things. We use manipulate loosely. We're just kind of moving some stuff around. Oops. If you had a time lapse of me working on this stuff, it would just be me saying like "oops" every like minute or two. Oops. Uh-oh. Whoa. Wahoo! Let's go. No. No. I have not been a big user of my art tablet. I'm coming around. I guess I am still pretty new as like an artist. Oh, here we go. Oh, how do I even grab just this? I actually think this one needs to be 16. Yeah. All right, so here's where it gets interesting. These kind of just go at the end here. I'm going to decide what to do with the interior space in a little bit, but for now, we're just going to get rid of it. Digital SFX. Oh, thanks for the clip. Swing in a second. That was fun. I don't have a lot of other sound effects I can make. Wow, 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 wow. That's also me making a mistake. All right, 11. Where's 11? Okay, so 10. So 10 was the missing part. I don't know how I ended up getting a dense copy over from 10. Weird. Super weird. 11's back to this, though. Okay. All right, that's row 1. All right, we got row 1. I feel confident that we did that correctly this time. Now, starting row 2 with 12. Here we go. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot more confident about this process now that I can clearly see the indexing, or the grouping, I guess I should say. I was getting mixed up with the grouping. Nix, you've been so deep in your rotting you didn't even hear any of those words. Maybe I didn't say any words. Maybe there were no words. Maybe it was all in our heads. All right, now we're making real progress at least. Oh, all three of these in a row. Nice. Yeah, the thing I really want to make time for is music. I need to get into some music production workflows here. If I'm going to be doing this kind of lo-fi idle game vertical slice thing. Which we don't have to think about now, because we still need to make a good chunk of the simulation before we can even think about anything like that. But I'm thinking about the sound. So I think the sound is going to be huge. I think that's going to be almost everything. Nix, also if your job wasn't hard enough, you're planning on setting up easy OCR for the bot so it can check your screen out. Wow. Music is like so hard to do. You can neither make music, sound, or graphics. Oh, you could do it. Excuse me. It's just practice. I don't have an artistic bone in my body as far as like, I've never been big into drawing. I know how to play a couple of instruments, but I've never been big into like, I don't know how to read music, and I've never been big into like songwriting or anything like that. But it's one of those things, it's like you noodle around on it for long enough, you'd be surprised where you can get to. How do I want to do this one? I guess like this. But yeah, I have some tools that I'm interested in trying out to create kind of more soundscapes than like specific songs. I think that's kind of the interesting thing that that would be our position. The blah, 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 blah. What am I talking about? I'm thinking about making... It would be less about like specific songs and more about just like a vibe. A soundscape, I guess was the correct word. Thinking about that. Especially for this lo-fi flyby thing we're thinking of doing. As like a diversion. Not a diversion, I would call it like a rest stop. Or a milestone, maybe, along the way. I have been putting all of these on the wrong layer for 1,000 years now. I want to die. It's the best way to deal with this. I kid. I get so embarrassed when I work on the wrong layer for like 10 minutes. gotta fix the whole thing. So far, you made one music for your animation for your thesis, but it was pretty blurred. You used to be able to generate great motor sounds. Yeah? Alright, well, this is weird. Also, what just happened here? Oh, no. How... This is also part of the... Ugh. I just zoomed my way into oblivion here. Okay. That's not great. Alright, somehow that part didn't get copied over, so we need to go grab 11 again. I'm still on the wrong layer. I'm so bad at this. I enjoy this, but it's very much like not easy for me. All right, save that. Hope that we did it. Looks like we did it. All right, now we can go back to what we were doing on the correct layer. Make sure handled this correctly. Yeah, seems fine. So that was 24. Okay, now we do 25. $26 is just one single tile. Yeah, this is getting kind of funny. Oh, what did I just copied and pasted an empty thing. That's so funny. This track felt very RimWorld. Or like even like SnowRunner or something. Just happened. Yeah, this dense mapping is turning out to be not quite so dense. We might reorganize it a little bit, but it was just a starting point. I don't see a 28, which is not good. Which is not good. There it is. All right. All right, if we can get the X face done of this, I will be pretty happy. Which we're more than halfway done with that part, so yeah, I think we're doing fine. Oh, I missed this message, I think. Matthew, you just rewatched Alien and Aliens back-to-back 2 nights ago because you hadn't seen either in a while. You really, really enjoy the original. Yeah, they're very different. One's obviously like a big... one's more of like a suspense, like horror kind of thing, and the other is more of like an action film. But yeah, those are great. Those are great. They're so good. Over the holidays, I watched with a friend. We watched in a row in like one sitting. We watched like Aliens, and then we watched the new one. I say new. They're like constantly making alien films, so it's hard to keep up. We watched Romulus, which was really like kind of a retread of the original Alien with some very questionable decisions that was made regarding the usage of Ian Holmes' likeness. But it was still interesting. It still tried to capture some of that. The original is I don't know if you can beat that one. The original Alien is just so good. The kind of ship design that they were doing there is incredible. One of those projects that seemed to come out of the failed Jodorowsky's Dune film. Very cool. I really love the Nostromo and the other ships. All right, where's 30? There it is. Mournful harmonica is nice. Maybe it's wistful. Maybe it's not mournful. Arneo, you checked out Alien Earth show today, and the first episode was kind of great. Oh, Alien Earth, right. I just saw that they were making that. Okay. It's good to know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how many of those they're making. Alien properties. Nyx, Alien Earth is out. You gotta watch it. Yeah, I don't know much about it. 33. And by much, I essentially mean anything. How do we want to map this one? I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, here I go again. Putting stuff on the wrong layer. You know, this wouldn't happen if I put everything on the same layer. Arneo, you think like 2 episodes are out? The premise is kind of wild and maybe a bit silly, but it looks and feels like a good sci-fi show. Okay, might check it out. I've been looking. I'm consuming a lot of sci-fi just for inspiration. Right now I'm typically going into the more classic stuff, but retro is also cool. Like I'm watching Strange New Worlds season 3. What was that? What did we just do? 33? 33. Okay, 34 is... there. It's all 4. It's weird. I've also been watching my old Blu-rays of Firefly. I've been really enjoying getting a Blu-ray player back. I've got a lot of old films. I say old, it's relatively speaking. I appreciate the hydrates, Nix. We're almost done with this tea. And then I guess I'll drink water. But this tea is really nice. It's chamomile tea, so it's not dehydrating me, don't worry. Although I might go get a black tea while I'm doing laundry a little later. Along with a snack, maybe. Oh, wrong layer again. Wow. At least I'm doing this often enough that I check. I swear I did just put that tile down. 35. Here we go. You still yet to watch Firefly? You're just annoyed there's only like 1 season. So if it's really good, you'll be sad. I have some bad news for you. It is good and you will be sad. That show's a classic. I'm really pulling from that vibe for I think at the smaller scale. Obviously at the larger scale, we're doing more of like a Star Trek thing. But I think at the smaller scale, you're really looking more for like a Firefly-esque. And I want to have more, I don't know. I want that angle to be, that's probably going to be what the lo-fi flyby really feels like. Maybe a little less, you know, space cowboy, but you know, maybe not. It's actually one of the easier things for me to do would be to do a space cowboy aesthetic. I possess stringed instruments. $35, that is the last one. Okay. On this row. That's probably how it'll be. Our little idle game will probably be more Firefly, and our main game will be a lot more like Star Trek. It's getting late there. You're falling asleep with the keyboard again. Your head off. No worries. Thanks, Silas. Have a great weekend. See you when I see ya. Take it easy. This is the most sensitive zoom scroll I could possibly imagine. Maybe there's a setting for that. There's like a wheel on this tablet that's theoretically for zooming, and it is sensitive. To the point where you spend more time overcorrecting than you do anything else. All right, last row. We're doing good. We're cooking along here. I appreciate everyone hanging out during what's been a pretty lazy week. I say lazy. I'd say maybe boring is the better word. So we have been working hard. We're just laying the groundwork for some more interesting stuff. It'll pay off soon. We're still on our way. While I'm working hard, you're hardly working. Those are the two ways of being. Oh, I'm going to use the undo button, which I put here on my little tablet. Yeah, usually my wrist, or not my wrist, but like my forearm would be hurting quite a bit by now after doing this kind of stuff for this long. But this feels fine. Doing good. Use the right tool for the job, I guess. It's the lesson. So what did I do? Just 41? So where's 42? There it is. All right. All right, Nix. You have your laugh. 43 is right here. Huh. All right, 45. All right, 44, 45, and then just 46. Where is that? There it is. All right. I think that's all she wrote for this one. Yeah, I think we got that. We got the first, or we got this. There are some gaps. So what do we want to do about that? There's 2 there, 2 there. 8 there. 4 there. 4 there. Oh, wait. Is this an odd number? Yeah, it is. It's not great. Maybe we just leave it. Because the grouping makes sense. And if I remove these little gaps, then the grouping makes less sense. Let me make sure that these groupings make sense. So this is group 10. Does group 10 make sense to be laid out like this? Group 10. Yep. Okay, group 23. Yeah, that's fine. And then 45 and 44. Yeah. 23, 22, 2120. Wait. Oh, 23 is this one. Where is that on here? No matter how many times I do this, I just can't find anything. There it is. Yeah, that's right. $35. That's where that row ends. The row ends on 35, 34, 33, 33, 32. 33, yeah, sure. 32, also fine. So 25, 26, 27. I just want to check those real quick. 27 seems fine. 25 is this one, also fine. Yeah, we're just going to leave the gaps. I know this is supposed to be the dense map, but we have this grouping method that I think stops making sense. Those groupings make no sense to you. Tiny lizard braid cannot imagine what this black sorcery does. So it's easier to look at these ones, the ones at the top here. So these smaller ones. If I turn the numbers off, you can see that there's just this pattern to how we're matching them, largely around the outlines. If we put on the guide, you can kind of see. So this is how we're mapping them. The thing is, we're using the same mapping, but each of the other walls has this additional 4 pieces. So here's like a normal tile, then here's like missing the lower X, upper X, and then both X sides. And you just go through this, because there's that additional dimension, you just keep doing this over and over again. So it's the number of tiles that map over. There's 4 here for every 1 up here. So whereas this is just this one, we have to deal with all 4 of these. So we're using the same mapping as above here. There's just additional pieces. And that's why we're leaving some gaps. Is because since we're eliminating non-unique tiles, we don't need to render literally everything. But I want to leave the gap because it maintains the grouping, the 4x1 grouping, which makes it easier to reason about for me. So I think we're going to leave these in here. It shouldn't be meaningful, particularly meaningful. What I should do is finish these guides for this one, but I'm going to do that in my own time because it's weird. And it's not necessary in the short term. But why are they missing? What is that for when the tile gets damaged? No, these are just all the different combinations. So these are all the combinations that you could have of outlines, including corners, which is why this is more complex than the old version. The addition of corners and the addition of the half outlines here, the top and bottom half ones. So in the autotiler, which is this, the autotiler thinks of it this way. They lay them out like this. Here, let me get rid of the index, which I should probably call grouping for that. This is how the autotiler thinks of it. They think of it as these XY coordinates, which are very sparse, you'll notice, because we've eliminated all the non-unique tiles. But this would be really inefficient to just upload this as the tile map atlas. We could probably come up with something funny where we could probably, oh man, we could probably like mix the Y face in with the X face somehow. Maybe not. It might have worked. But yeah, so we're making just a denser mapping of that so that we can upload this as a more efficient tile map atlas. But we have to come up with a map between the two because the autotiler is going to be picking a point in the sparse map, and then we just have to map that onto this denser map. I don't say dense because it's clearly got some missing chunks in it. But it's only a little... I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to have to do the same thing here, except down here, which should be relatively easy. It's a little different, but I'll do that in my time. And then that's pretty much it. Then we'll just figure out how we want to lay out the whole thing. And it's going to be this big tile map. It's denser than the other one. Clearly not as dense as you. You should be kind to yourself. All right, I don't know. I accomplished what I wanted to today. We could mess around for a few more minutes, or we could just, you know, call it. I think I might call it. I got I got an errand or two to run before I got to go back to work. You can be kind, but German kids will always be kinder. I get it. I get that joke. I understand that joke. That's pretty good. All right. Well, this has been nice. It's been Friday. We're basically at the weekend. Anyone who's not there yet, you're almost there. No stream tomorrow because, like I said, I have some events I'm going to during the day and the evening. But we're back on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll have taken care of the rest of this tile map atlas stuff. Or at least I've gotten one done so we can just copy it over and make the additional ones we need and set them up in the autotiler. So we'll be working on this to some extent next week, but hopefully all the boring stuff will be done between now and Tuesday. Good luck with the events. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not really doing much. I'm just participating. Not in a way that's burdensome. I'll probably get to do some of this work at the Godot meetup. You mentioned the D2 Jam. Is this it? No, the D2 Jam, Down to Jam, is September 5th through 8th, which we have taken time off of work for, which is great. D2jam.com for anyone that's interested in. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, September 5th through 8th. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me for this pretty chill stream here. You'd be surprised what you can do in a couple of days. I never thought I would be able to do a game in a few days, but there's something that all clicks together. You have like a fight or flight response. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good when you pull it off. It feels really good. When you crash out of a jam, it feels a little less good, but even then, that just happens. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm excited. It's a 3-day jam instead of a 2-day jam, so I think that'll help a lot. 2-day jam is kind of hard to pull off. But yeah. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us here today. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix.